Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from group 5, and today we will talking about semantic rules, but in different perspective. So we want to talk about Clader's perspective, and then valency 0, 1, and 2. So today in our group, they are me, Megatasha Kuswandari, and then my friends, Aradila Sagitan Imtiaz, and then Anggi Ernandia. Okay, let's move to the first. I want to talk about what is about Cradle's perspective. So in Cradle's perspective, according to Cradle in 1998, that the predicate may be a verb, an adjective, and the prepositions or noun phrase. The arguments which accompany the predicate have different function, role in proposition. The meaning of predicate is determined by how many arguments they have and what rules those arguments have. So let's move after we know about the Cradle perspective, and now I want to show you, or I want to tell you about what is valency 0, one of the categories in valency in Cradle perspective. So the valency 0, we know that the definition is it refers to the predicate that has no particular subject. Hence, the verb it contains a zero argument verb. So we know that the valency 0 has a zero argument verb. So the example of the sentence is, I will take it's snowing. And it's snowing, the first sentence in the group above has the verb snow, and then the subject is it. But it in that sentence does not name anything. The sentence has a subject because English requires a subject, but this subject does not correspond to anything in underlying proposition. We say that snow is a zero argument verb. That is the meaning, and then the example of this valency 0 in the sentence. And then other examples like it is raining, it slated yesterday, it has been thundering in the west. So, in the valency 0, English requires the presence of it with weather verb like rain, snow, sleet, thunder, but it does not refer to anything. These are among the few in the language that do not require some referent to be named in sentence. Tense and aspect must be expressed, like rains, rained, or it's snowing, or has been snowing. An indication of time and place can be added. We might add the time, like yesterday, in the west, or etc. But the sentence is complete without anything being named. Okay, next about here similar sentences with weather adjectives as predicate. So the example of the sentence like it's windy today, or it was rainy all last month. There are not many such adjectives. We may represent the propositions underlying sentences. It is snowing and it's windy this way. Keeping in mind, and then you have to remember that inflation is not part of propositions. So for the example, like in weather event is snow, and then that the weather condition is windy. That is about valency 0.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, I'm Arada Sektandias from Group 5. My student number 204190005. In this video, I will explain about valency 1. What is valency 1? Valency 1 is predicate that requires only one argument as the subject without object. Valency 1 is one argument predicate contain a verb that has a subject but no object, which means it is an intransitive verb. The argument contains a subject and a predicate in the rules. 1. Actor. Roger is the rule of an argument that performs some action without affecting any other entity. As example, Sylvia left. Number 2, affect. Affected is the rule of an argument that undergoes due to some event or is affected by some entity. As example, Tom broke a window. Number 3, affecting. Affecting is the rule of an argument that without any action affect another entity. As example, Betty liked opera. Number 4, again. Again is the rule of argument that by its action affects some other entity. Example, Tom broke a window. Number 5 is associates. Associates is the rule of argument that tell the status or identity of the argument to them. As example, Roger is a student. Number 6 is effect. Effect is the rule of an argument that comes into the existence through the action of the predicate. As example, Billy baked a pie. Number 7 is place. Place is the rule of an argument that names the location in which the action of the predicate occurs. As example, the fireman climbed a ladder. Number 8 is them. Them is the rule of an argument that is a topic of a predicate that does not express action as stative predicates. As example, Audrey is a computer expert.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, I'm Anggir Nandia, and in here I will explain about valency 2. What is valency 2? Valency 2 is a verb requires two things, namely subject and an object. They cannot stand with the subject alone without the object. The verb must have an explanation between who does and what is subject to action. For example, the word make. We can just say I make without any object being acted upon. And the next, there are several kinds in this valency 2. At the first, again, action, influence. Again, in here, it means an actor. Action is action, and influence is that which is affect by action, only influence. For example, Kurnia kill ants. In here, the ants are influenced by the action taken by Kurnia, namely killing. Ants are still ants. They have just been killed. The point is that action don't create anything new. At the second, again, action and effect. Action in here is not just an action that only effect, but creates something new or product something. For example, the mouse digs a hole. The act of digging here is not affecting the hole, but making something that is the hole. Third is again action and place. The effect of the action here is to move place. For example, Vina crossed the road. So Vina moved because for example, Vina crossed the road. So Vina moved because the action she took was crossing. Fourth is affecting, affected. Affecting is a subject that affects with an action, namely effect. Then what is affected is the object. So for example, millennia disturbs everyone. Millennia in here is affect the object, namely everyone, with his disturbing action. And at the last is affected, affect, and affecting. This is the opposite of number 4. The subject is the one affected by the action of the object. For example, the goat is angry with Kurnia. The goat in here is angry because of the action taken by Kurnia. So that's enough from us. Thank you for listening presentation from group 5. And thank you so much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.